shared housing is a worldwide phenomenon. Who shares housing, and why do they do it? We talk with folks who are exploring shared housing and experts in the field. This is Zoe, your shared housing advocate and host for today's show.
This morning I'm pleased to have join me Marianne Kilkenny. Marianne is a trailblazer for shared housing in Asheville, North Carolina. Marianne has a background in human resources management in the Silicon Valley, using her skills now to teach others to maneuver the hurdles for shared housing. Thank you for joining us this morning, Marianne.
Hey, Zoe, you're very welcome. I'm really pleased that you're getting the word out about this really amazing movement.
Start out, let's talk about how you yourself are living and breathing the shared housing experience. What inspired you to become involved in the shared housing movement, Marianne?
Well, I suppose it's probably been my interest in living in community. It came partially from the fact that I didn't want to live the end of my life like my parents did. So I looked at alternatives like community, and the one that kept coming up to me as the most fun was living like the Golden Girls. So I tell anybody that I could tell that was what I wanted to do, and that's really shared housing, and that's probably what most people recognize with the Golden Girls. Northern California, to look at the various living arrangements. I lived in a house mainly alone, but maybe in a group. Then I also spent 5 months living with another woman in her house, which was an interesting experience. And I suppose I also was doing workshops really wanting women to live in community. And at the same time, I actually wasn't doing it. So when I was laying at the bottom of the stairs on Christmas 2010, having had a fall, living by myself, I really think that probably was the push that I needed that got me to where I live right now in a shared house with 4 other folks.
So you benefit from shared housing personally, but I'm wondering if you could highlight others' stories whose lives have been enriched by shared housing.
Yeah, I'm glad to say that I know quite a few of them because I've been keeping track. One of them is a woman by the name of Vicky, who lived locally to me, and in a transition step to the possibility of living on the West Coast, she moved in with a married couple. And it really, she said, really opened her eyes to the future of what really could happen in a shared housing. And it was a really, really favorable experience for her. And what it enabled her to do was actually leave this area, move to California in a whole new life. And what she did there is she also lived in a shared house, with other people. So it really opened up the possibility that she can make that kind of transition in her life. Another woman a younger woman that is a nurse and works nights, has a child, and that shared housing makes it possible for when she goes to work, her housemate is in the house with her child, and should anything happen, there's child care right there. Another person I know by the name of Mary had a big house and really felt that she was not utilizing the house the way she could because it was just her in this gigantic house. And she felt sort of bad about it. So she had someone move in with her. And then there was the part that I think is really important about these big houses is that there's the sustainability, there's the companionship, and, of course, there's the economics of it. And one of my favorites is the person who has a pet, and her name is Barbara, and she has to go off, somewhere for her vacation or to visit relatives. And it was really nice because someone could just walk downstairs, take care of her kitties, give them some company and some love, and she didn't have to worry about that. And for all those people that are pet owners and pet lovers, that's a huge burden to be taken off of your plate, I think. So those are just a few of the people that I, off the top of my head, really come to mind as people that see shared housing as a huge attribute. The blueprint of we. What it is a document that we use at our current house, and what I think is an amazing document for any kind of shared housing or community, because it tells what each person looks like on a good day, a bad day, their warning signs, and what to do when somebody is under some form of stress. Because what you get is you merge the document together so that you're telling people about yourself, before you get to a crisis situation. And, for anybody to say that there isn't going to be conflict in any kind of community or shared housing, I think probably is not informed. And so this is already in place and ready to go, so that if you're having any kind of feeling like that, you read the document and you find out, oh, this is what this person is like, and this is the trouble that they might be having, and this is the assistance that I can give them. So that's just one of the things we use in our house as a tool, along with some of the other things that are also on that resource page on my website.
On the site, there's a couple of interviews that you have, like from YouTube, that are up there, a link to your Facebook page, and people can also sign up for a newsletter.
I'm helping people to get through the kind of circuitous route that I might have just outlined for you to get here, which took me about 5 years. Is to make it a little bit quicker. So I do coaching and consulting for both individuals and groups, and you can find that on my services page. It's kind of outlined there. And the other longer pieces are I do workshops that are day long to really move women from like getting from here to there. That's my goal, is to get people into living in these kinds of arrangements. The other thing I do is what I call a kickoff day. I did one of these in Sarasota a couple of years ago, and they've since formed a lot of different groups from it. And it's really using exercises to form connection, give information about the various models, and they actually move into action and take steps to keep going. And, of course, the part I have to say I really love is to speak, is to talk about this model, is to talk about, what the advantages of community for people really are. That's the part I really love, to get people fired up, just like these other events and workshops, to take something away that they can actually use tomorrow. And, of course, the other thing is I really, like the NBC News piece, they found me as really somebody that's talking to, the media about, and to people like you, to say, hey, this is happening, this is something that's happening. And, of course, for me, it's the boomer women, and looking at shared housing as a viable alternative to move forward.